We're really grateful to have you here today.
Thank you.
Raphael, we appreciate everything you do for the industry, and we love My Free Score Now at Credit
Oh,
Butterfly.
thank you so much. And we love Credit Butterfly. And I'm going to have to get a clip of that opening for sure. Well, thank you, everybody. And thanks again, Stephanie, for having me. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for all of you that are showing up for the class today. We do build a lot of tools that are free. To kind of gauge, if you don't mind, put a one in the chat if you're already an affiliate of My Free Score Now, because I assume some aren't, and which is great. I just want to kind of base set where we're at. So I don't want to point you somewhere that you're not familiar with. So it's helpful. All right. So I'm going to just go through it. And I think the best way to start is to show you what is Credit Snapshot. And I do have a video that I will share with you guys. It's about 3 or 4 minutes. I've learned in past sessions where if I go into simulation and live, sometimes things can occur. So it's just better to go with a video that gives you everything. And that way there's no hiccups along the way and our time could be more effective that way. So I'm just going to share that really briefly with you guys. I'm going to share sound and then we'll get right started from there. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm excited to show you how to use the Credit Snapshot. This is our exclusive free lead generation tool by MyFreeScoreNow, along with new powerful features designed to help you grow your business by giving your customers free insights into their credit and driving them directly to you for solutions. So first, I'm going to show you what your customers see, and in the other video, I'm going to show you how to set it up. So first, you can see right now that you will have your logo on the upper left. This is a free lead generation tool. It's only 2 steps for your prospects. They will receive a free credit report summary, no credit card required, and a free score. Here under Learn More About Us, if you select that, but your customers will be able to see a video that you're able to import, tell them a little bit more about your company. They can also chat with you if they are interested or if they have questions along the way. They can write their questions, they can press the little button, and then you'll respond to them through your cell phone, which I'll show you how to do in the next video. Here you're seeing the out of office message that you can also customize in your portal. They also have the ability to email you if they have any questions along the way or before, and that's what it would look like. So after they fill out the first 4 easy steps, they will hit the next button, and then they will just have to fill in this basic information. As you can see, no credit card required. Again, they can chat with you here. They can watch a second video that you'll be able to upload in the configuration page, which I'll show you later. And they can also email you. I want to show you what it looks like if they chat with you. So if they select the chat option and they have a question, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to receive a text message. So you don't have to download any apps or software. You're simply going to receive a text message. You'll have to select the hyperlink in order to respond, and then you'll be able to type in your conversation with them. All right. And then if they're finished with that, then they would fill this information out, press next. There is going to be an OTP, which is a one-time authorization that's going to be texted to them. They'll have to enter it once if they're asked for that, and then they go continue to view my free score, and voila, this is what they have. So they'll see a free score, a free report summary, including the credit utilization and total negative items, and your logo on the right. So this is free to them. This is free for you. This is something that we offer. Again, they can chat with you in this stage. They can email you or even watch a third video that you're able to update or upload. And then if they select start, now what happens here is basically that you're also going to receive a text message and an email saying that you have a new lead. What we've also done is if you're using a software or a CRM that allows you to have an auto sign up link, then you can also add that to this process and the customer can log in themselves or not enroll themselves into your services. So they can click this button here and then you'll leave My Free Score Now and it'll take you to whatever CRM you're using. Again, if they allow you to have a self onboarding link, they can fill that out there and then they are a customer of yours. Or they can also upgrade to get the 3 bureau that based on the price selection that you choose in your configuration, which I'll show you in the next video. And then you can see the 3 bureau credit report, including the Epic Pro report. So hope you like this. If you want to watch how to configure it, check out the next video. Sorry, I was muted. So what you could see from the Credit Snapshot, it's a free lead generation, right? So a big hurdle for a lot of lead generation is asking someone for the credit card, getting them to move into that next step. So what this does is it allows you to put some bait out there and say, hey, if you're interested in a free Equifax score and summary, you can do so here, and they don't pay for that, right? And then you guys don't pay for that either. So we do have a relationship where we get these prices at bulk, and so we do absorb that cost at MyFreeScoreNow as the cost of doing business, but in order to get you guys leads. So as you saw in the video, once you get that lead, then you can upgrade them to the three bureau, right? So if you want to think about a flow, right? So you have your co-brand link, which is for three bureau credit report, credit monitoring, 2990, 7-day trial. That's one way of starting. Or you can also market this link that you all will have access to. You get your own link and you can put it out there on social media, on TikTok, whatever, Facebook, wherever, and you put it out there, and when people click it, they can get a free Equifax score and summary. And then what will happen is we're going to send you a text message saying that you have a new lead, and then you can contact that lead, and then you tell them about your services. Once they feel more comfortable, they're like, oh, thank you for that. I didn't have to put a credit card. Then you can say, well, in order for us to get a better view of your scenario, then I would need the three bureau credit report. And then that's where you saw the take me to my three scores in that option. And then they become a paying customer, which at MyFreeScoreNow, we also share a commission based on whatever price point you choose. So the credit snapshot, you'll find
The
it.
Epic
Oh,
Pro Report.
let me get out of this screen and let me show you where it is. So in your portal, so if you're an affiliate of ours, this is what your portal looks like. If you go, these would be your co-branded links, right? So these are the ones that are the paid. These are, with us, you can pick different price points. Maybe some of your customers, you want to charge them $24.97 with a no free trial, or maybe you want to give them a $24.97 with a 7-day trial. Maybe you want to give a 29.90 or 39.90, right? So you have many options of price points and trial duration that you can offer. Because everybody has different clientele, different demographics, and so you do have options. Now, the lead generation is down here where I click lead generation. Essentially, we have two different types of snapshots, which I'm going to show you both. Bye, baby. Here is where you would configure your snapshot. So you put your phone number. You can add more numbers if you want to get alerts to those numbers, because we will text you when you get a new lead. And you can put your email address. You put your standard your time zone, and then your hours of operation. Then you move over to the credit snapshot. And the first thing you do is you say, if they go from that free lead generation to a paid one, you get to pick which price you want to charge them if they do upgrade. So you would pick any of these options to say, if they upgrade, I'm going to give them, in this scenario, I have a 7-day trial with $29.90 a month. Here you can add your CRM links, as we showed you. Some, I think, Dispute Fox and Credit Client Dispute Manager. A lot of different CRMs have a self-enrollment link. If you want to add it here, you can. And these things are optional, right? So you don't have to add that, right? You can say, I don't want to add my CRM. I don't want to chat with them. I don't want them chatting with me. And I don't want to have any email support. I want them to get the lead. I want them to go through the process, and then I'll follow up with them later. So these are all optional. These are all customizable. But what I'm showing you is that how easy it is to customize it if you do want to enable those additional features. So by clicking the box, you're enabling those features. Some people don't want emails. They do like the chat support, so that they click here. And then if they text with you or chat with you outside of business hours, you can customize your message to say, hey, we're closed right now. Somebody will get back to you tomorrow. Here's where you would add the video to your page if you want to,
And can I
right?
just interject something here, Raphael, too?
Yeah. Of
If you
course.
guys, for TSR compliance, this is amazing, right?
I'm
Even
glad
though,
you caught that.
TSR, it is a thing. It truly is, and not everybody follows it. Let's be real. Not everybody goes by it. But this actually brings you into full TSR compliance with this chat feature.
She stole my thunder. And in fact,
Sorry.
no, that's great. No, I'm glad that you recognize that, because that is actually why we built these particular features. If you chat with them, that's fine. You can chat. You can also if they sign up to your CRM, then you're compliant, right? So we've built those features in here so that you can have that. Now, the video also can work in that same spirit, where if you want to introduce yourself or your company or your services, you can do so in a video, right? And so you can put all of that within that page, and you can see how easy it is to customize and do that. So thank you for catching that. So once you configure it, you set it up, you save your information, and then basically you update your logo if you have one. And then this is what your link looks like. So all of you will have this link as an affiliate. And if you put it on the internet, it looks like that, right? So your logo will be up here. In the video I showed you, it's really like two steps. They're just creating their username and password. Then they're just putting in their basic information, which is needed to obtain the credit report. They get verified, and then they see the final result of that score. If you put it on your Facebook account, so some people were like, well, how do I market that, right? So one way you could do it is you can put it on if you have social media, you attach your link to your social media and post it. And so now they click that link if they're interested. And then I know I would also suggest maybe you add some content, right? Add some words, maybe a video. It's up to you. Or you just throw it out there like bait. I go fishing, I take 5 rods, I have my master rod that I'm going in and out with, and then I have like 4 just sitting there to see if a fish bites. So you can use it that way. You can put it on a business card. One of the other things that I suggest, maybe some of you have people that do real estate or other types of places where you need a credit report. I would maybe go to a friend that does real estate and say, hey, when you're talking to your prospects, if you use my link, you could get an Equifax score for them, and you can see where they're going to land. If you see that their score is low, send them back to me. I can do credit restoration for them, and then we send them back to you, right? So there's so many different creative ways you can use it. Another thing that we added in your portal is we give you a QR code, right? Maybe you want to display it on a backdrop. Maybe you go to conventions and you want to get your free Equifax score. They can just scan it with their phone and go through the process. You can put it on I've seen people put it on a shirt or a hat, print it on a business card. There's just so many different ways that you can market this. And again, the lead generation, they're getting a true Equifax score. It's a Vantage 3 score, and they're getting a report summary. So you'll know if they have negative items, what their credit utilization is. And then, so now you've got this lead, and then you can then convert them into a paying customer, right? By sharing that link. Let me see, I'll show you one more thing there. So as you can see, it's very easy to configure. And then when you have a lead, you'll get a text message. We'll send you an email. We also assume that people are logging into their portal and checking those tabs, but for that reason, we'll text you, hey, Raphael just signed up, needs your help, hit him up or do the chat. Then once you have leads, you can go to your snapshot leads, and your leads will look like this. And then you're going to click this button. And now you can say, oh, I see your score. You got a 567. You have 0 collection, 0 public records. Your credit available is 9. And so obviously every person will have a different summary, right? So you're not getting a full report. You're getting a summary of the negative stuff and the score. It's a way to start having that conversation with them. And then if they want to upgrade them to the 3 bureau, then you just tell them, great, that's just the single. I need to look at all 3. Go ahead and click, take me to my score. And then that's when they'll be asked for a credit card. And if you're using a 7-day trial, then they have a 7-day trial, right? And then you can actually view their 3 bureau credit report and continue your consultation that way. Once they upgrade to a paying member, then they will appear under your member list. It's a dummy account, so I don't have any members, but then you'll have them in your member list, and then you can view their 3 bureau credit report, the Epic Pro credit report, and the Funding Snapshot, or the Funding Pro credit report.
The funding snapshot. So talk a little bit about that, because actually last week, a lot of you guys were on last week's call, we had Kevin Arajo on talking about funding. So this is ImproveU's program, right? Inside of the funding snapshot. Is that correct or no?
So they're one of the funding partners. So that's a great transition. So this, before I move from this one, I want to differentiate the two so that it's this one, you're getting a Equifax credit score and summary for free, right? And You can chat with them, you can send them your CRM links and do that, and hopefully you upgrade them. The funding snapshot is the same in the sense that it's free with no credit card required. You're going to get an Equifax score and a Equifax negative summary. The main difference is that that one is catered more towards business funding. So your angle is a little different. If I'm promoting this, I'm like, hey, do you know what your score is? Or I might say, are you trying to improve your score? Or have you checked your score lately? Right? It's more about maybe credit restoration or knowledge, right? I want to know about my score. The funding snapshot, we leverage that differently. You say, hey, are you interested in business funding? Are you interested in getting a loan? Find out if you qualify for free, right? So that's the only difference is the approach. It's still the same result where you get the Equifax score and the summary. The difference is that with the funding snapshot, we worked with ImproveU. We've worked with the other funding partners to actually write to include underwriting criteria embedded in the report so that you can find out if they're eligible for a loan and how much they're eligible for. So that's the major difference is that it has underwriting criteria with real underwriting criteria to say this person could qualify for 10,000 to 25,000 in loans, right? So that's a really good lead for you. What we find, this is another way to bypass or to stay compliant. I don't want to say bypass. You stay compliant with the TSR rules because you're not pitching credit repair. You're actually pitching funding. Are you interested in business funding? But what happens is that what we're seeing and what the industry sees is high 80s, maybe even high 90s do not qualify for funding because of their credit. So if you're marketing this with intention, with saying, hey, are you interested in business funding? They're actually probably won't qualify, and then it becomes a credit restoration customer or customer. And you could say, well, right now you don't qualify for funding because X, Y, and Z. However, I can help you with that. And then once we get these things resolved, we can check again and see if you're qualified then. Right. So it's another great lead generation. Now, if they qualify for funding and then you have a funding partner, because you can use whatever funding partner you want, you can then send it to your funding partner. You establish a relationship with that funding partner. And if they fund and secure a loan for your member that you hand it over to them, they will pay you a commission based on you providing them that lead, right? So it's a way for someone who does credit restoration that doesn't do funding, but wants to start providing that option for their members and also make additional income based off the leads that they're sending to the funding partner. So what we did is basically create a bridge for CROs that wanted to engage with business funding but really didn't know how or have the tools. We said, look, we've created this free lead generation tool with real underwriting criteria so that if you get someone that qualifies, you can hand them over to whoever funding partner you'd like and then help them that way, right? So let me show you what that looks like. And I'm sorry, I got a bunch of pages open. So there is one. So the link that you get, you saw what the credit snapshot looked like. This is what the funding snapshot looks like. Again, you can add chat with us. You can add email us now. You can add a video. And then also you can add, now this is new. We have book a meeting. So you can attach your Calendly or whatever calendar links that you have. And so they have those options. What they do is they'll click here, get my business funding. Same as the credit snapshot. No credit card required. They fill that information out. Again, they can chat with you. Again, if you don't want these features, you don't have to enable them, but you could just enable chat or just video or whatever, right? It's all customizable. Then they would click next. They're going to get a text message for on-time verification. And then this is what it would look like. So this is what it would look like for someone who does qualify for funding based on the information in that Equifax report. So it would say, congratulations, you have a potential to get between this number and that number in business funding based on your one bureau Equifax score. At this point, they can book a meeting with you. Most likely, you're going to call them first. That would be the best thing, right? That you're calling because we're going to send you a text. Hey, you have a new lead. You should call them right away, right? But they could also book a meeting with you. If they book and then, or once you start talking with them, then you can say, great, based on your Equifax, looks like you qualify in between these numbers. Again, I need to look at the 3 bureau credit report in order to get the real assessment, click the upgrade to the 3 bureau report number, and then that's when they upgrade to a paying account. If they, and then with, so there's like 3 tiers. So this is the hottest lead. If you, this is a hot lead, you're like, oh, I got a good one here. This guy might qualify for funding. You get excited, they get excited, right? Now, another person may get this message. Your funding eligibility estimate cannot be calculated, possibly due to these factors. So started to add why they may not qualify, right? Because we have the qualifying criteria could be if your credit utilization is 30 or low, that's good. If you have 0 negatives, that's good. If your report history is more than 15 years, even better, right? The top qualifying things. And then there's kind of middle ground, and then there's like, nope, you don't qualify. So since we understood that, we know why it may not have qualified. So then we'll display to you why it probably didn't qualify. So again, at that point, you want to say, oh, well, you know what? I can help you fix that so that next month or however long your process takes to fix it, then they can qualify for funding. So as I mentioned with the funding snapshot, it's really a double play. Either you're going to get someone that qualifies for funding, hand them over, get a commission for your between you and the funding partner, has nothing to do with MyFreeScoreNow. We don't take a cut on either side, and then you can make more money and help your customers get funded, or they're going to convert into a credit restoration customer of yours.
So
Then
we have a few questions in the chat, so I'm going to go through these since our time is getting short.
it's
So
okay.
Brenda
Yeah,
asked, do we have to have an affiliate contract with each of the funding partners on the platform? How are we paid for clients who are approved and accept funding?
great question. So you don't have to use any of our funding partners. You could find your own funding partner. If you choose Improve You, they have their own program. So you would just need to contact Improve You and say, hey, I want to be able to use you as my funding partner. How does that work? Then they will explain to you what their process is, what they pay out, and then I think with them, and Kevin might have mentioned what their process is. Either you have to become an affiliate of theirs, or you can sign up as a partner, or there's other options that they have. But my point is, you set that deal up with them, right? If you don't want to use Let's Get Funded, what you do know is that you actually have a lead with information that's using real criteria. And what I found out as we were doing our due diligence is that a lot of the funding have the similar criterias. Now, some might be a little bit more strict, some may be a little bit more lenient, but there are a lot of things that are the same. And so it's if I feel like if this says you're very likely to qualify with any other funding partner too, right? Again, now if they're super strict, they might be like, well, no, we're a little bit more strict. We want the credit report to be more than 15 years old or whatever, right? They may say, no, the credit utilization for us is different. So, but to answer your question, you don't have to sign up with them. You do have to establish your relationship with them. Once you have a member that qualifies, then you would basically be handing it over to them. And I would ask that conversation, how would that work? So if I have someone that qualifies, do I call you? Do I give them your number? They'll tell you, well, this is how we do it, right? You give us however they do it. But that's how you would establish with them. Again, we don't connect that. We're not the funding companies. We're not a credit repair company. We're a credit monitoring company, but we've provided a bridge for our affiliates to expand, right, their reach and not just focus on credit repair, but also business funding.
Yep, just providing the tools. That's cool.
Correct.
So Tiara wants to know, can we add our own photos?
Yes. So there
To which part you?
to the snapshots you can't, not yet, not right now, but to your co-brand links you can.
So that first page, when it goes to the link, it just had just the generic photos. We can
Right.
add photos of ourselves there.
Not right now.
Got
This one right here. You change this one. Not right now. That is something that we are
Okay.
working on. But so another feature that we've added in there is, where am I going? Lead generation. So another feature that we've added that offers customization is if you go to this, oh, so we don't have it for snapshot apparent for funding, but we do have it for credit. If you go to this last link, you can if you wanted to do this, put it as a pop-up maybe when someone goes to your website and you want to offer them the free version first, you can use this as your pop-up. We added the snippet code for you that you just embed into your code, and you can customize these colors. So at least for the snapshot, that's the only customization that you can do right now. If for your co-brand links, you can customize that. You can add pictures, text, videos as well, and then you do it. So I think this one's customized. Let me just check. So see, it's a test. You can add pictures, you can add different colors. That's not the most attractive one, but you basically would go to your co-brand setup and then you can, I'll show you real quickly. Let's say this is a picture you want to load. Bring this down a little bit. Let's say that's a picture of you, right? Maybe that's what you want. And then you want to, now I don't like the contrast there, so I'm going to go to background color. I'm going to grab this little color grabber. I'm going to use this gray, so therefore it blends in better. Maybe I want to change this to a darker color. I don't like the blue, or maybe I have company colors, right? Maybe you have your own company colors that you want to use. You can do that. You want to enable chat support, or maybe you want to enable the email support. You can do that as well. You can add a video. You want to write text. You just click the little text button. You can add stuff, and then it will look like this.
Got it. So it's for the personal side, but not for the business funding yet.
Right, correct.
Got it.
It's for the co-branded links, not for the snapshot yet, but
Got it.
we are working on that.
Is there a fee for, sorry, Stephanie, go
No,
ahead.
Tara, go ahead and ask.
Answer away, ask away.
Is there a fee for the co-branding?
Nope, everything is free. In fact, we pay you commission.
Right. Thank you.
She had one other question in here, Tara did. When they fill this out, does their information go to lenders or any other organization
No.
besides ours? No, it just goes straight to you, Tara.
Correct.
And then we had one other, we'll get to Albert here in just 1 second. Freet asked how much is the commission for business funding, but I think he already answered that. I think it depends on which provider you use and you work that out directly with them.
Correct. Yeah, so with our co-branded links, right? So there's just distinguish the difference between both, right? This is the one that's going to get you the 3-bureau credit report, and that's going to give you your commission. And as I mentioned, we have different price points. The ones with no free trial pay more than the ones with the free trial, right? Because there's a bigger risk to us with this. They can cancel in 7 days and we don't collect anything. So to try to motivate you to use the free trial, that pays more. You can use a $29.90 with a no free trial. That one pays $12.25. If you do a $29.90 with a 7-day trial, that pays $11. $39.90 with a 7-day trial pays $15. $39.90 with a no trial pays $16. With the lead generation, because those are free, right? They don't even have to put a credit card. We don't pay commission on those. The hope is that if you use Snapshot or Funding Snapshot to bring that lead in, you upgrade them to one of these paying accounts, and that's where you get your commission. If you get someone that qualifies for funding and you send them to your funding partner, that commission is paid from them to you based on the amount that they secured or that they were able to get your member a loan, and that's your relationship with them. And different funding partners have different payout. We are adding a new business, a funding partner pretty soon. We've already finalized most of it, so we'll be adding them shortly. But again, you don't have to use any of our funding partners, but you still have that report that has real underwriting criteria in it. So it's pretty solid. It's a hot lead. It doesn't get hotter than that.
All right.
And when I mean hot lead, I mean they're qualified leads, right? Whereas you can send someone that doesn't qualify. That's not a hot lead. That's just a lead.
Yep. So I put in the link to sign up for the MyFreeScoreNow free co-brand where you get all of this included. So the link is in there. I just put it in again. It's in there a couple of times, but the link to sign up for MyFreeScore is in there. Belinda asked, if a client signs up for the 1-week trial, do we have to wait till after the trial to download all 3 reports into Credit Butterfly? No.
Once they enroll, even if there's a 7-day trial, you get access to the report, to the 3-bureau.
Okay. Albert, go ahead.
Yes, I'm an affiliate. Thank you, Raphael. Great presentation here.
Thank you.
Stephanie, will there be a link to the CRM or maybe to Credit Butterfly? That's the first question. The other two is that, Stephanie, I'm glad you moved to Thursday nights, because Raphael, my free credit, had some great training on Wednesday nights.
Well, and that is actually why we moved to Thursdays,
That's
because
awesome.
Bruce actually sent me a message and said, hey, let's coordinate our class time so we're not competing.
Then there's trade too tomorrow
That's
afternoon.
right, at
And I
2:00.
shared a link in there already. So, it's further incentive to sign up. Some great information here. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Albert.
What
And
about CRM linkage? Will there be CMR linkage eventually?
Yes, we're actually starting to work on that with MyFreeScoreNow.
Yeah.
right now, I
Okay.
believe importing of the report, the 3 bureau is linked. If
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong. It's the
Yep.
credit snapshot that we're working on creating. And I did speak with them after our call, Stephanie, and it is something that it's on our roadmap to be able to that you can incorporate that. But like, if you're talking about the CRM link, Credit Butterfly has their own link already. As I mentioned in the configuration part of it, you would simply click this and add the link to that CRM.
We're working on that now so that you guys are able to do that.
Kudos to both of you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Valerie wants to know if, Raphael, would you repeat the name of the funding companies?
Sure. In fact, let me do this real quick. Oh, where did it go? This is our simulator. So when you're configuring because it says select your funding partner, right? So first you select your upgrade, what you want to upgrade them to. But then once you select a funding partner, it says know more about the funding partners. So it's vague, not vague, but it's short, right? Because the idea is that you should contact them, right? This is just like a quick intro. So you can call them, you can send them an email, they'll contact you back and they'll say, hey, if you're interested, this is what we do. They might send you their contract or however it works. So then you can go through here and then get more information about that funding partner. Now, if you don't want to select any of them, then you just select other. Now, if you select other, so if you select improve you, the underwriting criteria is improve use. That's what's embedded in that snapshot. If you pick let's get funded, it's their criteria that's loaded, right? If one's stricter than the other, right, that's possible. If they're both exactly the same, then it's the same. But when you pick the funding partner, it's based on their funding criteria. So they love that, right? Improve you, whoever our funding partners are, that's great. They're actually getting a hot lead with their actual own criteria in it. So when you so if you have someone that qualifies and let's say you send it to improve you, they're like, we know that this qualifies because that's our underwriting criteria, right? That's why I said it's a hot lead. So if you pick other, it defaults to improve you's underwriting criteria. Did that answer your question? I think I forgot if that was the question.
Yep, I think so. Yes, there will be a replay of this tomorrow. You guys can get all of our replays for any of our classes on our YouTube channel, which I will put into the chat right now. It's just the @ Credit Butterfly on YouTube. And all of our classes are uploaded usually by the next day.
And
And all of
also,
our
we have a lot of videos as well. I'll put it on the chat. And it's easy, MyFreeScoreNow TV.com. And that'll take you straight to our YouTube page where you can find a lot of videos. In fact, all those training classes everything that we have is on there. So if you really want to sit down, and I know I might sound biased because it's coming from us, but we bring in the experts and they share so much, what we say, game, so much sauce. We call it sauce, right? Our community is really supportive and intelligent, and you're all sharing information with each other, and that's all recorded and it's all on there. So I really strongly recommend, if you're really trying to learn and avoid some of the mistakes that you will make as a business owner, you can hear information that will help you bypass those things and a lot of motivation. So I would strongly encourage watch everything if you can.
Oh, I agree.
Little by little.
There's a lot of free game out there, you guys. There's enough people that have a lot of time in the industry. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. We give so much free game at Credit Butterfly and the Credit Action Plan Facebook group to any of our Thursday night classes. This is stuff that people used to charge for. This isn't the stuff we teach is not the stuff that's usually given away. MyFreeScoreNow is exactly the same way. They get the experts, they get people who are making real money in the industry, and they come and tell you exactly how they do it. Like
So the 90-day run, these are great. Every day, or sorry, once a week, we had a new person. There was somebody talking about getting your social media up and actually showed you, not just said it, oh, you should have social media, right? We all already know that, but giving you some more step-by-step stuff. We had someone that's like, how do you want to incorporate selling cars? Like a lot of people need to buy a car. So we had Sean. We had someone talk about operations. Shakila actually came on one of the 90-day Zooms and she talked about the funding or not funding, financing credit repair. We've had so many different things that I didn't even know. I was learning along the way. So all of them are here. We've got all the training videos, like all our Wednesday night classes, some of our Friday nights classes are in here. There's a whole playlist. There's 6 there. We've got little training shorts. If you want to see some of our events, you see them here. If you want to learn about Gala, we've got that. We bring out podcasts with different our affiliates. So there's a lot of funding snapshot training. So there's a lot of stuff here.
Carolyn, they do not have FICO. They offer Vantage 3.0 currently.
Now, when you think about it too,
you.
in the credit restoration space, FICO, you don't need the FICO right now, right? What the score? What you need is to fix inaccuracies, you got to fix the file, right? So in that stage, you don't need the FICO. The FICO is actually even more expensive, so that cost would be absorbed by your customer, and you don't really need it, right? So you don't need to focus with them on that. But at the end, when they actually go and get a loan, they're going to pull their own that bank or the broker, whomever, that they're going to pick their report. Even if you showed them your FICO, if they're trying to apply for something, they're still going to pull that report and they're still going to pick their own score provider for it. So
I'm going to piggyback a little on that because here's the thing about that. With its credit scoring models, you guys, come to one of my classes where I teach scoring models because all you have to do is optimize for FICO when you're doing credit repair. Once you learn how to actually properly optimize the credit reports, it doesn't matter which credit report that you have. You can actually give your clients proper guidance. I've been teaching that for years where I optimize for FICO 2, 4, and 5. I do not optimize for Vantage 3.0 because I can go get a 750 Vantage 3.0, but maybe when they go to get their mortgage, they're still a 640. So you just have to know the differences. And I teach that in a class. In fact, I may do that class coming up soon because it's really important that you learn the differences and you can educate appropriately when you're doing credit repair. For me, I explain to the client, you might have a 760 credit score right now based on this Vantage score, but that's not actually what your FICO is right now. I know this. I don't have to look at the FICO to know this. I already know this because of certain criteria that's on there. And sometimes it's the opposite. Maybe I know that their FICO is way higher than that Vantage score and they can go ahead and get their mortgage. So once you learn that, then you'll be able to educate accordingly and it won't matter which report you have.
And it was also interesting when we moved into the funding, when we created that tool, when we first launched it, we were getting calls from our affiliates and they're like, hey, I got a customer, they have a 720, they have a 740, but how come they don't qualify for funding, right? And we're like, damn, I don't know. That's a great question, right? So we called Improve You and we're like, hey, why does this not qualify? And it's because it's not just the score, right? It's what's on your file, right? Again, age, history, length of history, right? How an 18-year-old is not going to get funding, right? They're not going to get a $50,000 loan if the report is 1 year old or 0 years old. Credit utilization, how many negative items you have, if you have recent inquiries, there's these other credit utilization, there's these other factors that even if you have a good above 700, that doesn't mean you qualify for funding. So that's what we found out. And I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, it correlates to when you're doing credit restoration, you're like, hey, your score, we're going to get your score up. But right now, we don't need to worry about what model it is. We need to know what's inaccurate, what we can fix, get your utilization down if that's part of the roadmap, and then help them in that way.
And it's good to optimize for what they're trying to do. You optimize for funding, you optimize for mortgage. And as you gain more and more experience, you'll learn those things. So cool. And Siobhan, that is true. So the FHFA did say, it's cool, you guys can use Vantage 4.0 now in mortgage lending. I haven't seen a lot of mortgage companies adopting it yet, but they don't even have to change their systems right now, which is huge. So it was going to be, everyone had to change their systems in order to go to a new buy merge, but that didn't happen. So what they're saying now is you can use Vantage 4.0. So they have the green light, they have the go ahead. Any lender right now can pull Vantage 4.0 and go do a mortgage off of it and submit it to Fannie and Freddie. But I'm not seeing a lot of them adopting it yet. They haven't started doing it yet, but I think give it a few months and we're going to see more and more of that. Then it's going to be even more important that we're optimizing for the right score that we know that they're pulling, and to educate them when that happens and say, hey, oh, you know what? Your Vantage 4.0 score is going to be a lot higher than your FICO 2, 4, and 5 score. So we're going to optimize you for Vantage. We're going to get you a lender that's going to pull your Vantage 4.0 and not your FICO 2, 4, and 5. So there's going to be a lot of things we can do. No FICO 10T, Tierra. They're still hanging on to that FICO 2, 4, and 5 for dear life. The oldest horrible scoring model in the market, but it's there. So, all right. Do you have anything else to throw in on top of that, Raphael? I know we're kind of getting off the subject now, but there's just a lot always to talk about in this industry.
I think I don't have anything to add. I think that what I could say is that we offer so many different things, and it would be impossible to get it all in 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I encourage you guys to look at the training videos. I encourage you to join our program, right? It's free, and you have access to all of these tools. You'll be a part of the community. Now we're doing 3 trainings a week. We have events. So we're really dedicated to helping you guys grow, because that's how we grow, right? It's almost a no-brainer. It's really not that. I don't know why a lot of companies don't operate that way, but we do. And so we would love to have you guys on board. We'd love to have you guys at our events, help you see your business's scale. And then a lot of these tools is built based on feedback that we get, right? Hey, if I could have my video, that somebody asked us that at the gala, our first gala in December. They're like, can I add a video to my thing? We're like, no, not right now. But then we're like, give us a couple of weeks. And we did that. Somebody
Raphael,
here
where's the
asked,
next event?
So Raphael, I'll see you tomorrow then, because you're going
that's
to be
right,
at tomorrow
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
Yep.
Pacific Standard Time.
And
That's right in the
somebody's
chat there.
definitely, I'll see you there, Albert. And
Thank
that's my
you.
middle name, by the way. And somebody here asked, can I customize this page? And I'm like, you know what? Damn, we need to hurry up on that. So that's how it works with us, right? We're like, it's true. We should get a little customization on these. So again, welcome you guys. Join the community, join our Facebook group, our partners page. We're going to work with Stephanie on getting other integrations working, and we're ready to grow. I think you asked the next event. So
Yeah.
right now Miami is looking like October 25th.
Uh-oh.
Yep. And then our second annual gala is going to be in December, usually around the 15th, right before Christmas holidays. Don't have a location, but we know we wanted beachside. We know we want star hotel. We know we want it to be the best, because all of our events, go to the YouTube page, look at our videos of all our past events. Last one we were at the Wynn. We looked at what are the best hotels in Vegas. It said Fontainebleau, Wynn, and then there was others. So we called Fontainebleau first. We need a conference room. We need about 70 rooms blocked out. They're like, we don't have that. We're like, all right, too bad. Next, Wynn. They're like, we have that, right? So we really always look for best. Don't know the hotel yet for the gala, but that'll be on December 15th. Miami will be around October 24th, and then we might have 2 smaller ones, one in September and one in November. I think I've heard Atlanta, and I've heard DC, and maybe Baltimore. So those are so we have different sizes, right? We have some that are like more like socials. If we're in a city, we're going to invite you to come out and meet us, probably be at a nice restaurant, open bar, hors d'oeuvres, little light snacks, and usually 50 people. And then we throw the bigger events too, where it's 150, 200 people, 3-day events, 2-day events, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. For these events, these are free. It's crazy. It's free. The networking is insane at these events. I've never seen anybody in the industry put on events like this. They're really amazing. So go to the events, network. This is how you grow. This is how you meet people that are doing what you want to do.
Hey, Mark.
Learn new things.
Yeah. Now is the website, but then this group, the partners group, that's a private group. You can only be let in if you're an affiliate. So once you become an affiliate, then you can join the link. As you, there's three. What's your company name, your AID, and are you an affiliate of ours? And if you say yes, yes, then win. Here's where we put a lot of the hey, that's coming up this Friday. We put new, we put clips of our past events, our affiliates, our kind of training. So this is a good page if you want to stay up to date on events, new
Yeah.
tools. This is what I would recommend. Look, here's those right there. This is what I would recommend definitely being part of this group.